YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back with a big update on the Odell Beckham Jr. situation. We now have confirmed details on their reworked contract that the Browns gave to Odell Beckham Jr., and it's been confirmed that they will waive him on Monday. Yesterday, we actually had some false reports, incorrect reports from the most credible sources out there saying that the Browns reduce his salary so anybody can afford him off waivers. That is actually not the case now that we're learning here, now that pen has been put to paper by Odell Beckham Jr. and the Browns. So we're going to break it all down. I think it's unlikely he's claimed, but we'll break that down, and I'm actually going to give my predictions. I'm going to rank the landing spots based on him being a free agent at the end here. So we're going to discuss it all. This is all official now, so we know this is how it's going down, how we expect it to go down here with Odell Beckham Jr. So a little free agency coming up. Monday, Tuesday range. Tuesday if he goes unclaimed. So we're going to break it down here. Follow us on Twitter for the constant updates. We keep you updated live as things are happening. That waiver wire orders on Twitter as well. So check it out. Like, subscribe to notifications on full NFL coverage here. Here's our Twitter. We pinned the tweet with the waiver wire order, so that might be useful. Constant updates here on the situation. The details that were just confirmed, I actually talked about them exactly last night or yesterday evening, and they've just been confirmed now. So let's just break it down, though. And we'll show the waiver wire order again real quick, and then at the end, we'll talk about if he's a free agent, which I expect him to be in the landing spot. So the Browns reworked Odell Beckham Jr.'s contract, removed 2022 and 2023. So he was under contract for the rest of this year and the next 2 years. They removed the next 2 years, so those are gone. Forget about those. His deal expires after this year. So he's got 9 weeks left plus playoffs if he's on a playoff team, and then he's a free agent. So then the Browns waived. It's officially going to be waived on Monday, but he's going to be waived here. He's subject to waivers. He's heading to waivers. We'll talk about the waiver order in a second. Claiming deadline is 4 p.m. Eastern Monday. So that's kind of the deadline where teams have to put in a waiver. So that's when we'll find out really if he was claimed off waivers. That is on Monday, so we'll have to wait till then. He's due $7.25 million if claimed off waivers. So you take his salary, $14.5, and then there's only 9 weeks left of that salary, so that comes out to $7.25 million. So if a team claims him off waivers, they owe him that for the rest of the year. That's what they owe him. If he goes unclaimed, all 32 teams pass on him. He is a free agent. He can pick his team, obviously, if that team has interest, and they work out a new contract, whether it's a year, whether it's 2 year, 3 year, probably expect it to be a year, but it's a whole new contract. That $7.25 million goes away. And again, yesterday there was reports from the most credible people that it wasn't confirmed, but people were saying they're dropping his salary down. They're reducing his salary from the $7.25 million so teams can afford him. That was actually false. That is incorrect. So I know that a lot of people think that still because of the false reports. Just forget that portion of it because that's not accurate anymore. If claimed off waivers, 7.25 is the amount that they have to pay him. If he gets past waivers, then he's a free agent and could sign with anybody, work out a deal there. So again, here's the waiver wire order. This is pinned on Twitter, so if you want to look at it more, but it's reverse standings, and then once you get to the playoff teams, it's reverse playoff seedings. It's kind of like the NFL draft order there. So basically the Lions pick first. Do you want Odell? And if they do, then they have him for $7.25 million only on the rest of this year. So it's a rental for $7.25 million. And if the Lions say no, then it's the Dolphins' turn. Okay, so it keeps going on. All right, so and again, if you want to see this, what's on your screen longer, you can pause the video or you can go to our Twitter. It's pinned there. But let's talk about the teams that can afford him off waivers, because remember, they're going to owe him $7.25 million. That is cap space. So those are the teams with their cap space that can afford him. Jaguars have a whopping $28 million. Eagles have 21.4. Eagles are interesting because they cleared all that space during the year like they were gearing up for something. I always thought it was Deshaun Watson, but I don't think Watson ended up wanting to play for him, so that kind of backfired on the Eagles big time. But they cleared all this space to do nothing. Maybe they do something here. Broncos got a bit. You see the Seahawks, Panthers, all the way down to the Bengals. So what is this, 9 teams here? 9 teams have enough cap space to afford the $7.25 million. Only other team that is close is the Texans, and they're at $6 million. I don't think the Texans will be interested anyways, so I don't know if they'll want to clear that space for them. I don't see that happening. Restructure is possible, so you take the remaining 7.25, you drop it to the veterans minimum, which is 1.075 million, but with only 9 weeks left, it's a lot less than that, obviously. So you drop it to that, and then you take that money that you cleared. So again, dropping 7.25 all the way down to the minimum. That's a big amount cleared, but it doesn't just disappear. People always get confused on that. Restructure, pay cut, different. Odell's not going to take a pay cut. Nobody's taking a pay cut right now. So that money that disappeared didn't actually disappear. It's going to be charged in the future. So you're going to have stacking up these cap charges in the future, that difference that you save now. So is it worth it? Is it worth it to, hey, you can afford them now if you restructure, but for this rental that we might not have in the future, and if we did want to have in the future, we'd have to negotiate a new contract, which I would imagine being tough with Odell, and we have to pay these cap hits for him in the future. I don't know if it's worth it. If it was just the start of the year, yes. 9 weeks left, I don't know. Maybe a serious Super Bowl or like a legit, like they know we're going to win the Super Bowl, that type of team. Maybe. Just maybe, you know. And again, if he goes unclaimed, that $7.25 million does not exist. He is a free agent, new team, new contract. So this really doesn't matter if he goes unclaimed. All these who could afford him, blah, 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 don't matter. All right. So let's see those teams that can afford him off waivers. Now, which teams, who I think may claim him. I put him at the bottom there. The Jaguars, who have fourth priority. Remember that graphic with the waiver wire order? Again, it's pinned on our Twitter if you want to take a look at that. Again, I showed it earlier in this video just moments ago. The Jaguars have fourth priority. I could see it. Again, I'm not predicting it. We'll get to my prediction. I could see it. They have all this cap space, $28 million. Receivers really aren't getting separation. Not the best routes out there, not maybe the best speed. They're not really getting separation. Marvin Jones, more of a contested catch guy. Laviska Shenault, more of a utility guy. Not good at his routes, getting separation right now. They're missing DJ Chark. They want to get Trevor Lawrence going as much as he can. I can see them doing this, but then it'll come down to, will Odell play for them? Will he refuse? So that's what it comes down to. Eagles, I could see Odell being pissed about playing for the Eagles just because, Hurts is, he isn't that effective in the passing game. He runs a lot. I guess last game they pound the ball a lot, but I don't know if it's an offense that Odell, I know it won't be appealing to him. So will the Eagles realize that, like, he's going to be a problem, he's not going to like it, and they'll back off? The reason I say they might claim him is because, again, they cleared all this space. They restructured contracts, and they're taking those cap hits in the future instead of now. You do that for a reason. There's a reason you clear all that space. You don't just do it for fun, And, again, they missed out on some opportunities that they thought they were probably going to get on why they cleared that space. But here they are sitting with 21.4. They're coming off a big win last week. NFC wild card, those lower seeds, maybe just the 7 seed wide open, really. So, hey, maybe they want to go get him and get better. I can see it. What I do see is Odell not being happy about being there. Probably not the Jags either. Seahawks are 9th priority. They'll definitely think about it. They have 13.3 you see at the top. This is a team that'll definitely think about it. People don't believe he'll be claimed off waivers, and I'm kind of leaning towards that as well because $7.25 million is a lot of money for a rental, and maybe it's a headache for some teams, Odell. But I could see the Seahawks. I could see them because they're a team that's not afraid to get better. Russell Wilson's going to come back. They needed a third receiver pretty bad. But that's kind of the problem, too, because they don't really spread the ball out to their 2-star receivers a whole lot. You think they would do it more. It's kind of Lockett or DK one week. It's one or the other, and sometimes they're a little quiet. It's very weird. And that's before Geno Smith was in. It's even with Russell Wilson. That's how it is sometimes. So, and they like to run the ball. So I don't know if they really value the third receiver that much. And Odell, I don't know how much he'll value them. It'll be appealing. And the Chargers, 20th, they could use another receiver, in my opinion, if he drops that far. I got 10.3. Again, I'm not banking on it, but I can see that. Steelers were an interesting one because they lost Juju, but I don't see Mike Tomlin. Maybe that's just I'm trying to judge guys based off their character, their personality. I don't see Mike Tomlin putting up with OBJ shit. That's just me. I just don't see that. There's a lot of coaches I don't see them putting up with that. Washington, Rivera, I don't see it. It's just kind of me predicting guys, how they'll react or how they judge a guy like that. So that's just me. Some people say the Panthers could be sneaky. They got enough receivers and they got a problem at quarterback right now. So I don't know about that. But I'm not predicting them to get, prediction you see at the top, unclaimed. So then you see the free agency landing spots. Again, I'll bring it up again. If he's claimed off waivers, he's due $7.25 million. Okay, it's a lot of money for a rental. If he gets past waivers, He's a free agent, and he can. It's forget the $7.25 million. Pick his team. The team could pick him. It's a new contract. It's probably very cheap, depending on what Odell wants. So I ended up ranking the landing spots here, and I'm really looking at the first two. I'm really looking at the Chiefs and the Rams. I was swapping them back and forth, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. The reason I ended up going with the Chiefs 1 as my prediction is because they need a receiver a lot more than the Rams, but the Rams throw the absolute shit out of the ball. They use several receivers. They released Deshaun Jackson because he asked for it, and Tutu Atwell got hurt. Okay, and they still got a number of receivers. Still got Cooper Kupp, they got Robert Woods, they got Van Jefferson, etc. So they still got these guys, but they're not afraid to get better. They're trying to win a Super Bowl, so I can definitely see the Rams. But how would Odell feel being receiver 3 right away? Maybe he could be 2. I don't think he'll like it, but they throw the ball so much and just spread the ball out that I think he'd be okay with it. But definitely a team that's not afraid to get better. I can see it. But that's the reason I ended up putting the Chiefs 1, even though I was so close with those, because the Chiefs actually need a receiver. The Buccaneers are kind of almost exposed in the Super Bowl what to do with the Chiefs, and everybody's doing it now. You're bracketing Tyreek Hill. You put a corner on him, and you got a safety over the top. And then some teams are being a little smarter on what you do with Kelsey. Obviously, you press him at the line with a guy that can press and cover, not some linebacker that can't press a elite tight end and run with them. Some teams are starting to do that. A little more cover 2 looks too, and it's really throwing the Chiefs off right now. It's really throwing them off. They need another receiver, and I like what I saw from Hardman last week against the Giants. It was more of just screen passes, end arounds, quick things. I like that, okay, but you need another receiver that can run routes and get open. They need it badly. I was saying this last year. I was saying it before the Super Bowl last year, and really showed in the game like the Super Bowl. You need one badly, okay? And they throw the ball. Mahomes is appealing for OBJ. I know the whole world's ripping Mahomes right now. I'm not going to do that. I think it'll be appealing for OBJ for sure. And I could see them, maybe Andy Reid won't want to put up with him, but I could see it. I could see them going for it, They do have Josh Gordon, which they're starting to get going a little more, but is that the answer? So that'll be their decision. Again, the Rams are 2. The Packers are 3. Packers are tricky because, it does feel like they're more Super Bowl or bust mode now more than ever. Like they're not afraid to get better. They're going after these guys because this might be it, So I could see it, and they get better, and they've had some injuries or COVID situation with the receiver position, but they're kind of picky with the receivers. I guess it'd be on Rodgers. Will Rodgers want to put up with OBJ? Do you think he can kind of put up with them? I could see it. But they do like the receivers, too. And Valdez-Scantling comes back, and Lazard's going to come back on top of Devontae Adams. Of course, they have Randall Cobb. So somebody's going to get the big-time decreased reps, and will they be okay with that? So that's why it's a little tricky at the Packers. That's why I do think it's the Chiefs and the Rams, and there's a gap. A lot of people putting the Raiders at the top, and I do have them at 4. That's pretty much the top here. And I would like to fit with Derek Carr and those guys. I've heard people say that they would be surprised if the Raiders are in on him, and I have people saying that they're going to be in on him. So it's tricky. To me, Deshaun Jackson makes sense to me. A good Ruggs replacement, but they haven't signed him yet, so maybe they're thinking about Odell. So that kind of says that. But another distraction to me, doesn't with the Gruden situation, with the Ruggs situation, now OBJ, another distraction. Mix that in with I don't know. I don't love it for the Raiders. Obviously, that makes them better. They definitely need a receiver, but it's kind of up in the air. The Raiders very well could be a landing spot out of 32 teams. I have them at 4, and they're right there with the Packers. To me, it's Chiefs, Rams, and it's kind of Raiders, Packers right there. And I'm kind of can flip those as I'm talking right now. I almost could put the Raiders at 3, the Packers at 4. Possibility there. Saints 5. The Saints are tricky. They try to trade for them, or Browns try to trade them there. And then Louisiana played at LSU. But then the quarterback situation. I don't know if he's going to love the quarterback situation. So that's why it's tricky. If Jameis was still there, it's a big boost. If they had the quarterback of the other, Mahomes, Stafford, Rodgers, Derek Carr, if the Saints had that core, they'd probably be number 1. If they had one of those quarterbacks like the top 4. So and the Patriots definitely be willing to take Odell for sure, and that's why they're up here. They're kind of a run-first team, though. They are looking for a receiver. They're trying to pass more, so maybe not as appealing for Odell. Just like the Saints, not appealing to the quarterback, Patriots because of the system, but maybe the Patriots are an appealing spot. Wild card teams, if he's a free agent, the Seahawks, they'll probably want him, but is he going to be receiver 3? Sometimes those guys, sometimes they'll go games without, DK and Lockett doing a whole lot. I don't know if that's a good match here. And again, when Odell has a choice, if multiple teams are in, I don't know if that's the team he's choosing. Maybe it's just one team. Maybe everyone's like, nah, we don't want to deal with him, Chargers could use a receiver. It's just a big question. It's a big mystery to me. Will they want to deal with Odell Beckham Jr.? I think it'd be great. I would love him on the Chargers. I think it'd be a great fit. But will they want to deal with that? The Bucs have a load of receivers, but they're just stack the team as much as we can because we're trying to go back to back. So I could see that. And, with a lack of reps for Odell be a turnoff, maybe they do have a load of receivers. The 49ers definitely need a receiver. Shanahan made some comments like it kind of got the feeling that they would be in on Odell. I just don't think that's the spot Odell's choosing unless they're the only team. Again, that could be the possibility here that every team's like, I don't want to deal with them. And only the 49ers are sitting there. I don't think that'll be the case, but if that's the case, he'll choose them. But run first team, not the best quarterback play right now. Definitely need a receiver badly, but I don't know if it's the most appealing. And I'm blocking the Titans right now. Yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone probably figured that out. But there's the Tennessee Titans. Those are dark horse teams. Falcons need somebody because Ridley's out. I don't know if they would put up with them. Maybe it's a possibility. Not the most appealing team to OBJ, but Ridley will be back. And then what do you do with OBJ? They're not going to throw a bunch of receivers out there at once. It's kind of Kyle Pitts and Ridley, and they use Russell Gage here and there. But it's mainly we'll see Ridley, Kyle Pitts because he can play everywhere, and then Hayden Hurst. Those are kind of the targets. So I don't know. The Dolphins, if the Dolphins feel like they're getting Deshaun Watson, that's kind of their pitch to OBJ. And then Will Fuller was only a 1-year contract because of his injury concern. They're done with him probably. Devontae Parker's hurt, so they tell OBJ, hey, you're our number one receiver right now. You and Jalen Waddle. Tua's getting better. We're airing the ball out a lot, mainly because we don't have a big running game. And if you want to stick around, we're probably going to get Deshaun Watson. It's just kind of a long shot that this is actually what they're saying, and this is that confident, but it's a possibility. Maybe he wants to stick there. And, people are surprised that Miami's an appealing spot for Deshaun Watson, but it is. Maybe Miami's just an appealing spot. The Ravens, people saying the Ravens, but I don't see Harbaugh putting up at OBJ. They're a run-first team. They're not going to throw it a whole bunch of games. Sometimes they do, but I don't know. I don't know if it's as appealing for OBJ and for a guy like Harbaugh, Lamar Jackson. Lamar would probably be all right with it. The Titans, A.J. Brown questionable for this week. Julio Jones misses every other game and gets misses every other quarter. Actually, it feels like they need another receiver. So that's a possibility. They need one pretty bad, especially because they're going to be a pass-first team maybe now because Derrick Henry's hurt. It would make sense. It's just another one of those where I don't know if Coach Vrabel puts up with OBJ. So that ends up being my rankings. You probably could tell. The more I was talking, the more maybe I wanted to flip the Raiders and the Packers. It's just so weird. Do the Raiders want another distraction? That's kind of what I go to. A lot of people saying the Saints, but does OBJ want the quarterback situation there? Patriots, we know the Patriots will be in on him, but is that his number one choice because it's a run-first team? I'm really looking at the Chiefs and the Rams, like I've been saying, really looking there. It's a really tricky situation. Again, beginning portion of this video, we talked about who will claim him if he's claimed. Could he be claimed? He could be claimed. We talked about those teams. That could blow everything up. Like the Jaguars claim him, because they have the cap space, and I could see that. Like I said, they want to get Trevor Lawrence going more and more. Receivers are not getting separation, not the greatest routes, and running, it seemed like, running wrong routes at times. So I could see the Jaguars even doing it, who are pretty damn early in the priorities. So, and we have that waiver wire order pinned on our Twitter if you want to check it out. It's also earlier in this video if you want to pause it on there. But, yeah, that's my take on it. I really look at the Chiefs-Rams. A lot of people believing he will go unclaimed because that $7.25 million price tag. But who knows? Like I said, there's a couple teams in there that just might do it, and then it'll go to OBJ going in there, and he will be okay with going there. And we'll be like, I'm not going to play for you guys, okay? Then they waive him, and he goes back on waivers the next day, and it just keeps going in that process. So, but what we are expecting is him to go unclaimed on waivers on Monday, and then probably sign with a team, an OBJ mini free agency here on Tuesday. All right, that's probably what's going to happen there. So we'll have you updated. We have live updates on our Twitter. We talk during the live games tomorrow, Sunday. We got big week here. We got you covered. We got full NFL coverage here. So join us for all that. Like, subscribe, turn notifications on me. Much, much appreciated. But yeah, that's going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching. Let me know your prediction in the comments. If you got rankings on where he's going to land, maybe you think he's going to get claimed, talk about that. I'd love to see that because this is it's very interesting. You know, it's a whole thing. It's pretty tough to predict on what will happen. So love to see people's comments, whether it's on Twitter or down below here. But that's going to do it. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Goodbye.